Nigeria can benefit greatly from Japada. That's what I want to talk about today. Nigeria's greatest Japadas. Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala graduated from Harvard University with economics in 1976.
About going to Harvard. Tremendous credit. My father is an economist, right? And his whole focus was on development. When I grew up, I told him I really want to study somewhere abroad. And that's how I came. He said, apply any country you wish, but it must be one of the top universities. That's why I ended up there, where I did.
Fela Kuti studied at the Trinity College in England, now known as the Trinity Laban. And Fela Kuti is actually the most iconic student from Trinity College.
Then I went to London, which I don't want to mention. I want to mention for you now because it's important for people to know. I don't know why you didn't go to London. I won't be able to really tell them that one doesn't have to go to London to be what you have to be. See, I went to London, it's okay, fine, but I'm not playing London music now.
Dr. Akinwumi Adesina is currently the president of the African Development Bank. He is an economist who graduated from the Obafemi Awolowo University.
I was a student at Purdue University. Of course, I left Nigeria, as he said. I had first-class honors. And when I got to the United States, in those days, we had what they called basic travel allowance. So it was in Naira, you had to take it. It was about 250 Naira, which was really not much. And that's all I had. And I took it with me, and I went to the United States. That was all. My mother bought me a pack of Big Biro. Those blue Big Biro? It doesn't matter what you have, whether you have Mont Blanc, Big Biros are the best. And that's all I had. I come from a very humble family.
Burna Boy, the Odogwu himself, the African giant, Grammy Award winner, Burna Boy Japa to the United Kingdom with his parents.
He went to school in London, didn't finish the school because he was clearly focusing more on music than being in uni and studying. He didn't particularly want to come back, but he literally had no choice.
Tiwa Savage was born in Lagos, but her family moved to the United Kingdom, and of course, they took Tiwa Savage with them, the Japa phenomenon.
I thought I was going on holiday. It's good when you tell you're going on holiday. And I was supposed to go to Air Force. I'd already enrolled and everything. They shaved my head, and then she was just like, we have to quickly go to London for a vacation before. And I'm like, I was excited. I bragged to all my friends, blah, 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 blah. And when we got to London, she's like, yeah, we're staying here. And I was like, staying where? First of all, it's freezing cold. When I got there, it wasn't what I expected. And when I got to school, it was horrible. My first day at Claremont High School, I'll never forget. And I had a strong accent. And I was late. And the teacher was like, to put. I was like, everyone's like, and I was like, that's me. And she's like, why are you late? And I was like, sorry, ma, there was go-slow. Everybody I was teased so bad. I was teased. They always call me the African girl, African booty scratcher, foo-foo. Do you guys live your food smells, this, that?
Davido was born in Atlanta, Georgia. He then returned to Nigeria for his secondary school education. He then jackpot for his university studies.
I used to go to the most expensive high school in Lagos then. But from school, all my friends would go to from school, everybody would go to the movies or the mall. Me, I would go to the hood, to the studio. So I ended up getting sent off to college at 16 years old, university. Because of the curriculum, how it was you do the year one or whatever.
Yeah.
Then you finish out year 11, and then you go A levels. You know what I'm saying? But my dad wanted me to just go straight, so he sent me to America when I was 16. Probably his worst decision.
Why? How go?
Because I fell in love with music more there.
Inyoluwa Aboyeji, famously known as E, is a tech entrepreneur. He studied legal studies and economics at the Columbia International College.
I'd never been outside Nigeria until 2008.
Wow.
Yeah, I've never been outside Nigeria. Obviously, I used to do that thing that I used to do in secondary school where you lied that you went.
I did that too.
But yeah, I've never been outside Nigeria. The first time I left the country was when I went to Canada. And that itself was just miraculously arranged because for me, I mean, I wrote JAMB, I got a fairly good score. I was going to go to OAU. My dad got this deal from my brother's school. He got this deal where it was like, okay, you know, if you send another kid, we'll give you like half off. So my dad was like, that's a deal. But my dad was very careful. He told me, he was like, hey, you know that you're not supposed to go, right? And I'm like, yes, sir. And he's like, it's your brother, right? I'm just letting you go. Maybe if you find a scholarship, then maybe you can continue. But if you don't find anything, you come back, right? Yes, sir. So when I got to school, I wasn't like all the other students. Because me, I was the freebie, right? That's my mindset. So I took 10 courses in one semester. As opposed to 4. So I got there in January and I graduated in August. I didn't even spend a year.
Dr. Julius Oni is an associate professor of orthopedic surgery. He attended the Howard University College of Medicine.
I was born and raised in Nigeria. I did not leave to go to the US until I was 16, 17. So by the time I got to the US, went through undergrad, medical school, orthopedic surgery training, both in residency and fellowship. And over the last 11, 12 years, I've been in practice.
Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala is the first female Minister of Finance. She spearheaded the write-off of $30 billion debt Nigeria owed to the Paris Club.
We were able to negotiate with the Paris Club an extraordinary deal, the second largest deal they ever did, where we actually wiped out the 30 billion of debt, through a combination of outright cancellation of 18 billion, a payment of arrears of 6 billion, and a buyback, the first buyback that a developing country was ever allowed to do, where we got another 25% off of the remaining 6 billion. And that whole combination of instruments led to our wiping out 30 billion in debt.
You see, the essence of Japada is to come back home and contribute. You Japada with a bag of experience.
When President Jonathan came, he was really, really focused on trying to get me back and lined up all the reasons. And one of the things he said it's not about me. It's about the country. I was really impressed with that. It's about you coming to help us with your skills. So he made all these arguments and said, look, you need to come back again and give back. So it was just that spirit of love for country, trying to help where you have the expertise.
Dr. Adesina was the Minister of Agriculture between 2011 and 2015.
All through my career, it's about how do I find the right people? How do I strengthen them? How do I help them to be able to do great things? So when I became Minister of Agriculture in Nigeria, what will I do that would transform the lives of millions and millions of farmers? And I took big risks. I went after the fertilizer cabals in Nigeria. We ended the fertilizer corruption that was 40 years. It took us 90 days. We took the advantage of the power of mobile phones. We registered farmers in Nigeria. We were able to reach, 15 million farmers directly, via mobile phones with seeds and fertilizers, and eliminated the old system of government buying and selling stuff and so on, which was quite revolutionary.
When you jackpot out of your zone, which is Nigeria, you have a sense of freedom and you begin to exercise your individuality. Now, Fela Kuti came back. He jackpotted into Nigeria. He brought music with a message. He began to fight for the people with his music. You see, this is because he's gone out of Nigeria, broadened his horizon and his scope, and he came back to contribute in a massive way to Nigeria. This is the power of Japada.
I thought about it when I started what we call high life jazz then, Akula Beatles. Then the next stage of this music was my visit to America when I took the Akula Beatles music there in '69. When I got there, I found out I knew so many things about the secret of the music industry, so many secrets about black people in the music industry. I saw the many secrets about African people in the music industry. I now saw what people have to do before you can make it in the music industry. Then I met a woman, Sandra, taught me a lot about blackism, gave me books to read, Malcolm X. And I saw so many intricacies and outlets, and I saw this some more secrets now why we Africans are so low.
Fela Kuti brought a lot of consciousness to the people, fighting for their rights, being the mouthpiece for the common man.
You believe Africans are low?
Economically, yes.
Not otherwise.
Not otherwise. I mean, low financially, bread-wise, food, hunger. But when you start getting very hungry for a long time, then you start getting low mentally too. You see, and we don't want that to happen. That's why we have to stay on this struggle. Then I was reading these books. I found out in my analysis of myself. I have to sit down and think about myself. Say, what am I doing? Am I really playing African music?
Without Fela Kuti, Afrobeat will not be in existence. He brought the elements together. Today's generation then went on to further adapt it.
Just growing up being exposed to different kinds of music and different kinds of culture. We hung out in Biarritz a lot. It's a rock city, hanging around the surfers and all of that. He would spend summers in my brother's house in London, not in his house, but everywhere underground that there was music. So he hung out a lot in Brixton.
Burna Boy is iconic in Afrobeats today. He's actually played a really massive role in taking Afrobeats to the world. You want to see Burna Boy performing in massive venues all over the world. What has created this opportunity for Burna Boy is the fact that he then japadad. But he didn't japadad empty-handed. He japadad with all the knowledge and experience he's acquired and gained from his experience abroad.
And then I met Babyface. I started working with him. He was like, where you from? I said, Nigeria. He's like, oh, you listen to Fela? I love Fela. Like, there's just a movement going on in Africa. And I was like, yeah, I know. And I just started paying more attention to like Mo hits. And I was seeing like Mo Cheddar and Sasha. And I was like, Two-Face, P-Squared. I was like, whoa, am I like, geez, what's going on? And yeah. 6 months later, I told my manager, I told Sony ATV, I said, I'm going back home to do African music because it wasn't Afrobeat then. Yeah. I said, I'm going back home. They're like, you're crazy. Like, and I'm like, no.
Like you're in Hollywood.
Yeah. And they're like, you're getting placements. Like, people are now looking at you from there. Like someone might want to sign you as a solo artist. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to just do R&B. I want to do African music. I want to combine the two. And literally they all told me I was crazy. Even Harmony, who produced my first record, was just like, you're crazy.
Tiwa Savage returned to Nigeria in 2012 to contribute to the Afrobeat scene. And boy, she brought good excitement to the Afrobeat scene. She came in with that song, Kele Kele Love, and it was transformative. Tiwa Savage's Japada inspired a whole generation of female artists.
We had Iris Star in the building not too long ago, and we asked her who some of her female inspirations were. And if you can put in your headphones, take a listen to what she said.
Who would you like to give your flowers to? Who is a woman that you've seen in entertainment that's like, oh my gosh, this person is doing their thing? Tiwa, Thames, Tyler. All the T's. All the T's. Yes, the T's. I love it. They're all doing so amazing. Tiwa is a queen.
Wow.
Now, baby, how does that make you feel?
Amazing. Like, I like, no cap. There was one time I tweeted, I love Ira. Like, I'm obsessed
She's
with
a
her.
babe.
She's amazing and genuine too. Like, yeah, I don't know. It makes me emotional, like, because when I started, I think I was I got criticized a lot for dressing too sexy or, you know, being too, you know, my lyrics were a bit too risque or whatever. So seeing it now and seeing someone like Ira, I'm just like, yeah, like if I see her wearing like a short skirt and they say something, I'm like, she wear, make it shorter. And she looks amazing. She's extremely talented. Like she's a star.
Davido's contribution to Afrobeats today is global. He's phenomenal. It's a phenomenal artist.
You know how many people are trying to get to America? And I'm coming back home. And see how that's the situation now. Everybody's running back home. You know what I'm saying? But the passion was just too much for me. And I don't know, people, they used to look at me crazy, like I overbelieved myself.
Yeah?
I probably didn't think it would get this big.
Yeah.
But like, I was just confident. I just knew I had something.
Can you imagine if Davido never had this experience of Japa and then Japada? There would have definitely been a vacuum in the Afrobeat space. Imagine all the revenue is generating through Afrobeat for Nigeria.
So I moved back in 2013 to Nigeria, July 5th, 2013. So I came back. I mean, by the way, my parents were not happy because, like, you just got a breakthrough now, and my two siblings are in Canada. So they're like, you should never have come back. Like, you've managed to finish the school thing, and you have just gotten a job like everybody else, and you came all the way back.
Why did you choose to come back?
It was a couple of things. I think number one, I realized that I wasn't excited about the kind of problems Canadians had. I think even calling it problems is like a problem itself.
Dr. Julius Oni, well-accomplished surgeon, spent a lot of years in America. He is known in all of the most important and iconic societies of medicine, but he decided to Japada.
Over the last few years, I've been asking myself, like, how do I really want to make a difference in the world? How do I want my impacts to be reflected when it's all said and done?
July of 2024, I will be moving with my wife and 2 kids to Lagos, Nigeria. And
I released a video just announcing my arrival in Nigeria, and I recently also released another one just updating people about what's been going on so far. And interestingly, those videos went viral. I couldn't believe it. On Instagram, I went from 2,500 followers to 69,000 followers within 2 weeks. LinkedIn, same kind of growth. It was unbelievable. But what really was most impressive with all of that wasn't the increase in the number of followership, but some of the calls, some of the DMs that I was getting from other healthcare professionals, not just doctors, but doctors alone, at least number over 100. But when you include other healthcare professionals, we're talking about hundreds of people that have reached out saying, you know what, we too want to do this. We want to, also move back to Nigeria. We want to also serve in Nigeria. We want to also improve the quality of services that's been given in Nigeria based on our expertise. And so what just confirmed to me was that we are not alone. I'm not alone. I'm not the only one with the fire burning in his heart for Nigeria. There's so many of us. I mean, just think about it. It's estimated that there are just as many doctors of Nigerian origins practicing outside of Nigeria as within Nigeria.
This is the sort of Japada we are talking about today. You Japa to Japada. Do not be the one that think Nigeria can never ever rise again. It's important to have a plan when you Japa. Nigeria's greatest Japada. We salute you. Please give me a like. See you in the next video.